Wagwan, can I call you back?
Could you scooch in a little bit, please? You in a bit, please.
Yeah. Need a digital photo.
Okay, so this video is, I asked Rick about it, so this is me introducing it to you, Christian, and refreshing Rick's memory, because I imagine he's forgotten.
I listened.
Do you know what it is? Explain it to Christian then.
Talk about all of the supplements that Strom do, and then kind of suggest an order of hierarchy in terms of the things that are really going to benefit you, the things that will probably benefit you if you are this person or that person or whatever, and
Like
the things that
maximise.
yeah, and
No
then
one needs that.
and then the things that are maybe only useful to specific people, like maximise.
Yeah, Lick leads the way with this because I don't know.
Well, you know what though, you're the one that actually tells clients what to take. I'd be interested to see what you tell people to take.
Rick, you lead, and I just jump in at a certain point.
Jump in and disagree.
No. Like this.
Have you got one of every product for us, Laz?
I have a box.
Oh, with everything in?
Well, first priority, last priority.
Yeah. It's difficult because everything we do is amazing and everybody should take every single product in the range.
So these are all S tier supplements.
And you could look as good as Josh Meadow. That is what used to do, and they are a really big business. What's this? Neuro. So when Neuro came out, one of the first people to use this, I think it was Jeffrey.
Joe. Yeah.
Because
I think he said to it about, I use all these products at night before I go to bed.
And I commented and said, I've actually got something coming out like that that's
pretty much the exact same thing, but all in one. So you don't have to buy 10
because I was kind of doing the same thing. Other than the Lion's Mane, I didn't used to use Lion's Mane, but all the other bits I used separately. So Joe was one of the first people that tried this. And when I did it, the original idea was, I think it was when I was chatting to Ben, when I was chatting with Ben a lot.
Joe, yeah.
It was kind of a post-workout, activate a parasympathetic nervous system state, chill you out, post-workout thing. And that was all I thought it would be. And then that's kind of become, for a lot of people, the non-negotiable. People use this for recovery, for brain health, and I would probably say that this is...
Work sometimes? Just to like...
Yeah. Well, this with caffeine. Yeah. Although Clean Kill is kind of this with caffeine.
Yeah.
But I would certainly say that this has become... It's gone from being a niche product category to a thing that...
Most people would benefit from.
If you took away all of my supplements and said I can only have one thing, it would be that. Unless I was on trend, and then it would be Systolmax. Yeah. I'm going to put that there. Yeah. Creatine is the most research-proven supplement on the planet.
That is something I say in my setup video.
There you go. There is no reason not to take it. There are studies now going on. I don't know if you know about this. In fact, you speak to Joe a lot. You probably will. They are now studying it in children for brain development and in old people for Alzheimer's and dementia.
I knew about the old people, didn't know about the children.
Yeah, 1 gram a day in children for brain development, formation of neural pathways. Because ATP is also the fuel our brain uses as well as our muscles. There is no reason not to take a creatine product no matter what your sport is. I'll occasionally get like MMA fighters saying, I don't want to carry a load of water. You only carry water within your muscle cells where it's useful.
And yes, you will hold water if you don't drink enough water as well.
I don't drink enough water.
Yeah, there you go.
There is no reason...
water.
Yeah, so this and water. There's no reason not to take this. Common myth, it's bad for your kidneys. It's not bad for your kidneys. If you have poor kidney function, if you have poor kidney function, you will have elevated creatinine in your urine. If you take creatine, you'll have elevated creatinine in your urine. A doctor will see elevated creatinine and go, that's because your kidney function's down. If you're taking creatine, the creatinine in your urine is a direct byproduct or breakdown product of the creatine that you're taking, nothing to do with muscular damage. It's kind of an urban legend or a bit of a myth. If you're on dialysis, probably avoid. Beyond that, don't worry about it.
5 gram a day, every day. No, you don't need to load it. No, you don't need to come off it and fucking cycle it. It's not tren.
Absolutely correct. It also contains actogen,
which helps the uptake.
No, it doesn't. Oh. Estrogen helps with the uptake.
Sorry.
Actogen helps with...
don't put that in.
No, it's fine. No, put that in repeatedly.
Which the uptake.
It helps with glycogen replenishment by a factor of 200% in studies, which is obviously bollocks. But it helps somewhat. Helps with reduction in DOMs and helps with recovery rate between sets, which is why I suggest on your training days taking this somewhere around the time that you train. But
I always advise Intra
Yeah, Intra's probably the best.
You're probably going to have something in an Intra shake at that point, so you might as well put that in.
That comes in a raw and a strawberry kiwi flavour, so if you're going to have it in an Intra, probably raw.
Fun fact, if you have it raw, it's a 5 gram serving. If you have it flavoured, it's a 6 gram to account for the flavouring. I remember that from when it was launched.
Yeah, and you only get 83 servings in the flavoured, so the raw is slightly better value. Oh no, sorry, you are wrong again, Christian. It's a 6 gram serving in the flavoured, and it's a slightly smaller serving in the unflavoured.
That's what I just said.
It's a 5.1 gram serving
Fuck off.
in the unflavoured. Nearly right. Yeah, it's 32 quid for 90 servings, or 83 in the flavoured. So in terms of things that you're going to spend money on, you're going to get a benefit to. Creatine is going to work out 30p a day. That is nearly as good a value as Christian's coaching.
Nothing's better value than that.
Okay, so this is very much a use case product.
Yes, Systolmax. So I use every day.
You have healthy blood pressure.
Yeah, I have healthy blood pressure because of that. And it's not like mine was ever high. Yeah, I think it was in like low 130s.
Yeah.
Over like 80.
Yeah.
Took that for 7 days in a row, and it was 118 over 60 or something. So one, it works quick, but then what I tend to find the problem with a lot of people is they find a solution for something, they take it for a week. Oh, I don't need to take it anymore, it's sorted. But as soon as you don't take it, it doesn't work.
I do that.
So I've used this every day, and this is not a joke, since it was launched pretty much. So what, 3 years?
Yeah, Chris from the Blood Lab is a huge advocate
So
of this.
good.
Really, really acute response. Crucially, obviously we can't make medical advice or anything like that. Crucially, unlike certain things that you might be given for blood pressure, this works within a day, kind of straight away. But if you don't have low blood pressure, if you don't have high blood pressure, or
You don't have to use it.
Don't take it.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no benefit, and in fact, there's potentially a bit of a negative. Low blood pressure can make you dizzy, make you feel faint. So great product, but only use it if you need it.
If someone did need it, where would it be put out of interest?
I'm sorry, blood pressure, top priority.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people worry about
Below euro.
a lot of people worry about
below that one.
steroids damaging their kidneys. High blood pressure will damage them far, far quicker. If you think about your kidneys as a filter, almost like a coffee filter, if your blood pressure is high, everything's being forced through that filter really, really, really quickly, and it damages the filter very, very rapidly, in fact. Kidneys, unlike the liver, won't repair. So blood pressure, if it's high, is a massive problem. Like mine's been for the last 3 years. Say nice things at my funeral. Niche. Clean Kill. Very much a take on what would you do if you wanted like neuro type benefits, but also to be on your A game. Designed as a gaming product, but actually it was originally labelled as Focus Max, and it was just a get stuff done product, but with lockdown gaming branding kind of made sense.
And it was kind of came out at the time other people bringing something similar out.
Yeah.
Not that we copy. We see an opportunity.
But you've got a lot of the benefits of a pre-workout without the jitteriness, and you've got a lot of the benefits of something like neuro in terms of brain health. Gives you kind of a zoned in, focused feeling.
It's no crash. Yeah. Most importantly.
So if that's something that would benefit you, if you're someone who does a lot of work, I know a couple of people who work in estate agents that buy this now for their staff. I don't know why estate agents, it's just apparently they're busy as fuck at the moment. But this is very much if you need a product like that, it's fantastic. Or if you want a product like that, I should say, it's fantastic. You don't need a product like that. It's the same kind of category as pre-workouts. But if you're looking for a product like that, it's really, really good.
What I would say with that is, if you get distracted by something, expect to then be focused on that thing.
Okay.
Like, if I was doing check-ins and then my phone went, I would then be zoned in on the phone. So it's very much lock this away, do your work, and you'll get fuckloads done.
Yeah, makes sense. You don't need whey, bro. You just need real food.
Yeah, but if you were to taste this, you would need it. White chocolate caramel. I know that's not that. Fucking every day. Every day, bro.
Yeah.
Whey is not a necessity at all. It's a privilege, I would say.
I'm a big fan of protein overfeeding. I'm a big fan of high protein intakes, whether someone's natty, but especially if someone's assisted. And I would argue that it's near impossible to get enough protein in from whole food, unless you are someone who has no life and is happy to just eat all day, every day. And I think digestively, using a way to hit that protein goal can be beneficial alongside red meat, white meat, fish, all the other things.
Yeah, don't have 5 meals a day off velocity whey.
No, absolutely not. But I also know that yourself, so lots of other people will happily get through 100 grams a day of whey to hit their 400 grams a day total. Because you've got to remember, if someone's trying to hit 400 grams a day of protein, that's a shitload of protein.
I use it
for everyone.
every single day, at least once a day, from the entirety of my prep, even the day before the show.
Yeah.
And I'm a very obsessive person, so if I want to try all the whey, I will buy all of the brands of whey and try them all. And I always go back to this. Not because I don't pay for it, okay, because one, the taste is incredible, two, the digestibility of it. Yeah. I do tend to have other brands, won't name any, and will be pissing it out within an hour.
There is a flavour that I really like from another brand at the moment. I really, really like the flavour. I think it's better than any flavour we do. But I've got a fairly strong digestive system, and it reappears.
It runs out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the middle. Yeah, if you need a whey, this is a really good whey. Digestibility has always been the priority with it. The blend of casein and whey works really well. The lactase inclusion to help with people that have lactose issues.
What do people not have a lot of at the moment? Time.
You don't have a lot of time.
True. But like what I tend to see with clients is, I don't have that time in the morning to make that meal.
Yeah.
Can I have a shake? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So. Then you'll get people who take that to extreme. I remember there was a phase. I don't know if you've seen this phase, because I've always said for years within bodybuilding, things are cyclical, phases are cyclical. Mm-hmm. There was a phase a while ago where there were people advocating that you had at least 2, but preferably 3 protein sources per meal. So rather than have like 200 grams of chicken with one meal and then you have 200 grams of steak with the next, they'd have like 100 grams of chicken, 2 egg whites, and 100 grams of steak, and every meal would have a blend of amino acid profiles, which is again just unnecessary.
Unnecessarily.
Try and vary your food.
You got too much time on your fucking hands.
Try and vary your food. Don't worry about it too much. Yeah. Pre-workout. You will get to extremes on this. You'll get people who are pre-workout junkies who don't train without it, that feel they can't.
Yeah, they feel like, I won't progress as much without caffeine.
It's like a less extreme version of the people who won't train when they're not on cycle. So those people do exist.
Yeah, I've got a big, and this is not to downsell your product. No one fucking needs a pre-workout.
You haven't got kids. Fuck you.
You know what I mean, though. Like, no one needs.
No one.
You don't need caffeine
needs
to train.
No.
Does it help? Yeah.
Yeah. No one needs a pre-workout. Obviously, our pre-workouts are very good, but in terms of, we'll talk about hierarchy of product. You will always get like 17-year-old kids or even 21-year-olds who live at home and have no job saying you don't need a pre-workout, and they probably genuinely don't. There are definitely times when on prep,
Systolmax Black would hit me different.
Yeah, particularly if you're dieting, pre-workouts hit you harder.
I think the thing with caffeine is save it for when, like, if it's a competitive sense, save it when you actually fucking need it.
Yeah.
Because
like
it will. It will.
Too soon, Junior.
Yeah, exactly. Too soon, Junior.
You know exactly what I mean. You don't know what I mean, do you?
Is it like a Fast and Furious reference?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Menage!
I don't know any of they're all the fucking same.
The first film, the first race.
Yeah, so my issue with the caffeine thing, I can't remember what I was going to say.
It's dehydration, isn't it? Team dehydration.
But, like, I'm very much an advocate of don't have caffeine after a certain time. But I know that most people train in the evenings.
I will caveat that with, if you get to the point where things like Black Edition aren't touching you,
please take
stop.
a break.
Don't look for something stronger, because something stronger is drugs. Yeah. So yeah, that's pre-workouts. If you want to use them, they're great. They're not an essential. They're not down here with like the Neuros and the Creatinaxes. You don't need it to live, but if you want to use it, great.
Right. Shit, Max.
Rapidly becoming like Neuro for the people who use it. Really, really important. A bit like Systolmax for the people who don't need it. There's probably a benefit. Actually, it's not like Systolmax in that case. There is a benefit to people who don't need it, but the people who need it dramatically notice a benefit. And I won't go into graphic detail of what that is. But yeah, it does its job very, very well. I use that one personally a little bit differently to most people. My training and my food and stuff are all over the place. But about once a week, I'll realise that I'm a little bit bloated and a little bit uncomfortable and digestion's off. And I'll just have a serving of that before bed. Wake up the following morning and things are moving more freely. And you're good to go again. Some people are using it every day. Yeah. While that's great because it sells more products, I don't think it's entirely necessary.
Yeah, I'm very much a routine guy, and it's like
really, yeah.
No, never. I will have that with my Systolmax in the morning, so I have it together because it's a habit thing.
What? You have that with Systolmax in the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tastes great.
Does it though?
Yeah, does that.
And vanilla digestible with mango neuro.
No, can I just say, this is what I do. Hydramax cherry.
Yeah.
Raspberry.
Yeah.
Systolmax. Actually, really.
All in one.
Yeah.
And how much water?
Like a pint.
Fucking hell. Okay.
Like a full shaker.
Yeah.
Tastes good. Sometimes a bit clumpy.
Yeah.
But again, it's more of a routine thing. And when I know that something works, I don't want to not use it every day.
Yeah.
So I just use it every day.
Yeah.
Like trembling.
Yeah, correct. It
And I
works, so use it every day.
As with
That's what
everything
Systolmax
gym,
for.
as with everything gym related, there are always people who kind of sign up to a particular cult or a particular meta, and the people who are very digestion is everything. You can only use what you can absorb. A product like that is potentially going to be something that they consider to be very, very important. I think humans have evolved over thousands of years to be pretty good at digesting whatever the fuck they put in their mouth. So different schools of thought on that, but
For you?
I use this myself regularly. It's a use case thing. Hydramax, the product no one realised they needed.
Yes.
A product that a podcast by some people that I very much respect. When it first came out, kind of had a bit of a joke and were like, an anti-pump product. That's like the opposite of bodybuilding. What the fuck is this? And I get it because in the initial promotion, I couldn't sit there and go, "Hey, do you use oral steroids? This is for those back pumps you get." But just like Neuro was brought out for people post-workout to help them come down, Hydramax was brought out for people with low back pumps and also people that get cramps when they're on clem. And then it's become everybody kind of going, yeah, but there's definitely a benefit to just being more hydrated generally. Yeah. There is a benefit to that level of taurine first thing in the morning.
Do you know when I used it most? Lockdown.
Really?
Because I was doing everything barbell movement. Bent over row, barbell row,
lower
fucking squats. My low back was fucked. I was having 3 sevens a day and it was fine.
Yeah. Very popular with strongmen, very popular with powerlifters. People managed bodybuilding and training for decades without a specific hydration product, and there is an argument if you want a hydration product, you could just make sure that you have enough salt with your meals and drink plenty of water. Mm-hmm. If you want something that's going to benefit your performance and that's specifically going to help with cramps and with lower back pump and so on, it's a fantastic product. I would struggle to say that it's an essential for anyone other than someone on orals or on prep.
Now, this is maybe one of those products that shouldn't have made this cut because it could be said to be similar, but I like seeing you
get annoyed.
Yeah. If you like this but want to spend more money, buy that.
Christian?
I was sent a tub.
You like ISOs, don't you?
Me? Do I?
I thought you did.
No, Soph.
Oh, Soph likes ISOs.
Because she thought she couldn't digest whey very well. But then she found... Is that Velocity?
Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't need to use it. I have a full tub at home that I don't touch because I don't see why I would.
I'm not sold on isolates, and I've said this before. If people want them, they're great. I think a lot of the time people think they need an isolate because they've had bad experiences with other brands of protein, and I think Sophie's a really good example of that. Because I remember when you first started seeing Sophie saying, "Oh, she can only have isolate." It's like, well, just get her to try it, and now she has just made a Velocity.
Yeah, it's literally runs through her veins.
It's just finding a product that is of the appropriate quality. For that person to tolerate it. There are some people who swear by this. What's his name? Trains up at Full Bore. Joe. Yeah, Joe Cross absolutely swears by this.
Yeah.
There are some people who really, really like it.
Look at his physique. Do you want to look like that?
That's how it works.
That is how it works.
Mm-hmm. Massive calves.
Where would it be on your hierarchy? Without moving Whey?
You fuck off down there. Bollocks to you. If you want to buy an isolate, that's a very good isolate. I think if you think you need an isolate, drop me a message. We'll find you a sample of Velocity and try that first. Yeah. Because it's a better product if you get on with it.
The goat.
Vascu Max Cherry Cola.
Probably my favourite product, to be honest.
It's the best flavour.
It's the best flavoured product, which does help. A lot of people have it pre. I actually have it intra. It's going to have the same benefit, in my opinion, but it makes my intra taste very good.
Interesting fact. We brought out Systolmax because Josh Maylor was taking 4 sevens of that a day to bring his blood pressure down.
Does that as well. No, I love it. Mainly, I mean, the name sells it for me. I love anything about being vascular. What I was going to say. However, if you are fat, it won't all of a sudden make veins appear. But will help your pumps in the gym, and I think a lot of gym progression can be made when you actually feel something.
Where do you stand on the idea that a pump product improves blood flow, which improves nutrient delivery to the target muscle? Because I see a lot of brands peddling that argument, and I think it sounds great,
but on paper,
that's not really how muscles grow.
Nah, but
But certainly a better mind-muscle connection, even as someone who is not aesthetic. A better mind-muscle connection, a better pump is going to allow you to target that muscle more effectively.
At the end of the day, I think it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cherry cola is the right
Cherry cola, if you order another... You're never going to sell another flavour now.
So we'll put that there. Again, if you want a pump product, great pump product, no one needs it.
Would you put it on the same level as a stimulant-based pre?
I would say if you were going to use one and you're bodybuilding, you're probably better with a pump product and saving stimulants for when you really need them.
Correct.
If you're powerlifting strongman, then you just load up on amphetamines.
Yeah. And if you appreciate your sleep, you'll probably just go with that. Joint.
Yeah, non-negotiable for me.
Yeah, I have it every day. I have it every day because I've got shit elbows.
There's a lot of people with this who, because it does have a very acute effect on things like tendinopathy, there are a lot of people with this who will use it when they have a problem and then stop when the problem goes away. And while that can be an effective option, I'd really like it if everyone just took this all the time as a preventative, because preventative is better than cure, particularly when it comes to joint issues. Oh, I've got no joint problems. Fantastic. Look after them.
Yeah. Do you want some? Oh.
Yeah. Neuro PM. It's a tricky one because not everybody finds that they sleep better with it. I would say 1 in 30 people, maybe 1 in 20, actually get on better with normal neuro.
What I would say with this is, sleep is the best supplement in the world, and it's free.
What about Trent?
Yeah, debatable. No, honestly, I'd say this is better than Trent. So, if you value like improving sleep, that is 99% of the time going to only improve your sleep. And like I said, supplements. Sleep's the best supplement in the world. It's free. If you can improve your sleep, trust me, you will notice the difference in the fucking gym, which is most likely the place you're going to be. It's your recovery, everything. So for me, I have it every night. I don't struggle to sleep. Like I say to a lot of clients, if you don't struggle with sleep and you feel like you sleep well, don't feel the need that you have to buy this, because don't try and put a band-aid on something that doesn't need a band-aid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although there's probably no negative.
There's nothing wrong with taking it.
It still comes up, and I'll answer it again anyway. This is just this with a ZMA and some lemon balm and a couple of other bits added. So the original Neuro is still a good relaxation, chill out, brain health tool. This just adds to that a few other bits that are more targeted at sleep. In terms of where it goes, it's interchangeable with regular Neuro. Really, it depends on. I personally have a tub of each.
Yes,
and the other day I had a very stressful day, and I had normal Neuro in the day, and I'll have my PM at night. They're actually one of our best sellers, which is why this pains me a little bit. But it's down there. There are some benefits. There's decent data. Our aminos come with the aptogen that's in the creatine that helps with glucose replenishment, glycogen replenishment. It's got beta vulgaris, beetroot extract that helps with nitric oxide production and oxygen delivery. But it's not going to yield you anywhere like the kind of benefits that you get from a creatine. It's not going to be
on paper, likewise.
Yeah. I used to work with an American coach a long time ago, and he had me do what I still consider to be optimal, but people don't do because it's a little bit weird. And I don't know if any of the coaches you've worked with do this, but I still consider optimal to be carbs and a whey while you're training.
Yeah, Joe would much prefer that.
Yeah. And that's what, if I were to start training seriously again, the argument with the EAAs is that they're free-form amino acids, so they don't require digestion. They can just be transported directly from the gut into the blood, where they can then go and do their job, whereas whey protein requires digestion, and blood flow to the gut is restricted while you're training. Very few people are training so hard that that's actually going to be an issue, and the data around a whole protein is, I think, a little bit better, and 99% of people are already going to have a whey. So personally, I would just use an unflavoured carb powder and a whey while I train when I was bodybuilding, and I found if I was doing powerlifting type stuff that would make me feel quite sick, but for bodybuilding that was okay.
What I would say with this is I put this in my intro every day. Do you think I'd notice when I took it out? No.
There are reasons to use an EAA, and I think if you're dieting very heavily, it's definitely going to have an anti-catabolic effect. I just think that the benefits of them are overhyped by supplement companies, and Christ, they're one of my best sellers. So that people like to use them is fantastic. They're actually a product that has a healthy margin in, and I would never say that they're not beneficial. It's just that the benefit percentage-wise is quite small compared to the other products on offer. If you're assisted,
absolutely number one fucking priority. If you can afford a bottle of Tren, you can afford that a month, you fucking dickhead.
Where do you stand on people that are cruising on a genuine TRT?
It's difficult for me to say because I take it all year round.
So I take it all year round, but I don't have to pay for it.
That is true.
I generally say to people if they're doing a cruise, maybe a half dose, because affordability, depending on what their financial situation is. I do have naturals that take this.
What I would say is the cruising. Why risk it?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being extra healthy, is there?
We do have naturals that take it, and they've reported improvements in lipids, improvement in liver function. Blood work is.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're assisted or not. It's designed to do those things. It will do those things.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. So I put this right up there. I mean, the whole Systolmax range really is the things that are going to have the most benefit. If someone's completely natural and they're just getting into the gym, because I guess if someone's just getting into the gym. If someone's brand new to the gym, please take your Systolmax joint, creatine, neuro, and joint. And I would actually argue, even though they're quite a strange selection of products for a newbie, that they would be the things that would offer you the most benefit.
But it's not sexy.
No, it's not.
That's the thing.
It's not
sexy. Is
protein in a pre-workout. I don't know why.
Literally about to. I was looking for
a pre-workout. I don't know why protein in a pre-workout is sexy, but apparently it is. If you're that guy that you're brand new to the gym, then there's probably no reason to take Systolmax, unless you're just one of those people that's very, very health conscious. So,
but if you are assisted, we'll go with assisted.
If you're assisted, absolutely.
It's a necessity.
And if you're very assisted, then you can add Jaundice Max to it. That's what Laz likes to call glutathione max.
I just think it's a better name.
Okay, good. We must be near the bottom now.
Yes.
If you want to make any of these things absorb better, this is brilliant. If you don't buy into the science behind estrogen or black pepper extract, then it's completely unnecessary. What I will say, anyone who doubts how effective this product is, take it with a
report that.
Because it dramatically increases the efficaciousness and the duration of things like that.
If you take,
you probably can't put me telling people to take.
Could you say maybe take it with a pre-workout or something?
Take it with a pre-workout.
Or something that might help with fat loss on a prep that your coach is probably telling you to take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, cool.
That's probably the most clear illustration. If you take it with that particular compound, it's a noticeable, immediate, oh, fuck, this is different.
Okay, so it will give a...
Yeah.
Growth?
It's got to be orally active.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, disclaimer, I don't pay for products, okay? I don't have Maximise.
Why not?
I don't know.
So the ginger root extract was actually... I designed this product when I was running a shitload of naps because powerlifting. So the ginger root extract helped set my stomach because I was refluxing all the day.
Yeah.
The estrogen, you've got fili in your stomach, your intestine, like little hairs. So it engorges those. They open up a bit like when a lady's got a wide on, so that compounds can pass more easily through the intestinal wall. So the studies on that are quite impressive. Like things like creatine have an improvement of 300% of uptake with that. And then black pepper extract contains it inhibits an enzyme, I think called the CYP32A enzyme, something like that. Basically, it's known as the drug metabolizing enzyme. It removes things from your bloodstream, puts them into your urine, so you can excrete them. So things that sit in your blood, this helps them stay in there longer. So that's where it's really useful. But the reason, because I have had a little bit of slack for this before, like why is that a standalone product? One, you get 120 servings for like 25 quid, so it's under 25p a serving. If I'm taking a pre-workout, because it's really popular to put these ingredients in pre-workouts, if I'm taking a pre-workout at 7 o'clock, I absolutely don't want that to last 50% longer. Like, I don't want that to happen. Equally, if I was taking this, and this all at once, like Christian said earlier, he takes 3 products in the morning, and each one of them had black pepper extract and estrogen in it, it'd be massive overkill. And it would exceed the recommended dosing on safety data sheets. So by offering it as a standalone, you can add it to anything you want. It's also got good data behind protein uptake from whole foods. But you don't have to, it's an optional. But it's very, very good value. It's 1 capsule serving, and you can take it with 1 supplement, you can take it with 4. If you take it with 4 supplements, the serving size is still only 1 capsule, and all of those products will benefit.
Where does it go?
It's probably there with the EAAs or further down, to be honest. No one needs that. It's just a cool little thing that I like. Ashwagandha.
This is a weird one because I feel like I know what you're going to say.
Okay, I know what I'm going to say. So, that. So if you're poor, that's what I'm going to say. So Ashwagandha is a component that makes up a large amount of the benefits in Systolmax Neuro. It helps with anxiety, it helps with stress management, it helps with VO2 max, it helps with endurance, it helps with athletic performance. It's proven, it's effective, it's safe, and if you buy it in the capsule form, I think it's £20 for 120 500mg capsules with a dosage of between 500 and 1,000 milligrams. So if you're on a budget, it's probably the better thing to say. If you're on a budget, Ashwagandha as a standalone can replace Neuro. It's not as good as Neuro, but it is very good. R&G Max.
Yes.
It's very good.
It's the best tasting greens powder you'll ever have.
I actually had one today because health. You don't need it.
Yeah.
You could just have some broccolis.
Yeah.
And a cherry. So it's there's quite a lot in the. We're not very good at being salesmen. That's not what we're supposed to be. It's honest. It's a really good greens powder.
If you hate having greens in your diet and you're lazy because you don't want to cook them, that's absolutely fucking perfect. If you're like me and you have loads of veg in your diet, which I do, I still have that.
Because health.
Because health.
There is stuff in there that you're not going to get in your diet. I know you get lots of greens and veg in your diet. I very much doubt that you're making anything with matcha green tea, which there are loads
Absolutely
of benefits to.
not,
You're
no.
probably not using artichokes.
No.
Acai berries, goji berries, you might be using those. You're quite middle class fancy.
I do shop at Waitrose.
Do you?
Yeah.
Fucking
But I don't have acai berry.
Okay. Acai.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Is it not acai?
I don't know.
You're probably right.
Yeah, he's probably right. Tory.
I'm not a Tory.
No, I'm calling Christian.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't think Tories drive Porsches, do they?
I wouldn't know.
They drive a Bentley.
Oh yeah, okay. Old cunts. Next.
Glycomax.
This is I'm going to get annoyed by this now.
There was a phase a few years ago, I had people that would ring me on prep. I had a guy actually ring me nearly in tears because his delivery with his Glycomax hadn't turned up and he was on prep and he was going to run out the next day. You do not need a GDA unless you are, like I find myself in recently, I haven't told you this, but I am pre-diabetic.
There you go. Insulin resistant.
I've basically turned that around in the last month and I'm now back.
Glycomax.
Glycomax,
clean up your diet.
no, Glycomax, and I stopped being a dick with food, but both. But what I've been doing is having 3 capsules pre-bed, like not fasted, but like 2 hours after my last meal. So that gives me a good period overnight with low circulatory blood glucose levels, which allows my beta cells to resensitize, and then kind of a little bit of a fast in the morning or a protein and fats breakfast. You don't need a GDA unless you're pre-diabetic, in which case you should address your lifestyle like I've had to. There are benefits to them, but you will not get fat by eating carbs without one. If your blood glucose is in normal range, the benefits are less acute than you might think, although there are long-term studies on berberine and improving body composition even in people with no predisposition to having high elevated levels of blood glucose. And I think Christian wants to rant because I can hear him heavy breathing.
Yes, I do want to rant. I will get on Q&As, people say, should I use a GDA, or what's the best GDA to use? And I'll always ask them a counter argument to this is, what's your where's your blood glucose at? What's blood glucose? If you don't know where your blood glucose is, why do you want a GDA? Because if you don't know where your blood glucose is at, you don't know what this is, and you just say you're having it because people say, I use a GDA with this meal, it makes me not get fat. Right, you can eat all the food in the world, okay, and you take this, it's still going to make you fat. And another rant I want to make. People that have this when they have a cheat meal, why would you want to uptake fats more?
Absolutely blame. So, it doesn't work just like insulin. I understand the logic on that. It doesn't work quite like insulin. You won't uptake more of the other things you're taking.
But you know what I mean, innit?
Oh, so where does it go?
Yeah, where does it go?
I like it. I use it because I like the ingredients in it, like berberine and stuff like that.
The gram of berberine and the sinulin is very, very good. There are health arguments.
Yes.
There are arguments to be made for Glycomax for health benefits, and it's pretty well established within the life extension community that because that's something I've been quite interested in the last few years, that having consistently lower blood glucose levels, regardless of whether they're in range or not, leads to better outcomes in terms of long-term life expectancy. They've shown this in animal models and in human models. I just think it's unfair for people to expect using a product like this to instantly make them leaner, because it won't.
Yeah, I take this product more so for the health benefit more than me thinking, oh, I'm going to uptake this meal better. Will I uptake the meal better? Yes. Okay,
But that's not the primary goal.
That's not my goal with this. My goal is
If you take 5 with a cheat meal, you may poo yourself though.
correct.
Like a poop.
Where is it there on the?
Yeah, I think so. There are a lot of benefits. Like, I don't want to downplay the benefits. There are lots of benefits to those ingredients, not specifically because of their GDA status, but because of the way in which they work.
If you like using a GDA, this is the best one to use.
It's like a less extreme example of isolates. The issue I have with it is that a lot of the benefits of them are not true, or they're marketed in an unfair manner.
They market it in a sexy way, which we aren't doing.
This is definitely not a sexy video.
Well, as I'll edit this all up to look super slick. Carb Max, carb powder. I like carb powder. You could just have some grapes.
Yeah, I think
It's convenient.
Look, the main reason I put it into my diet is when food is high and I don't really want to eat.
Yeah.
And it's a very easy way of getting carbohydrates in. That's my main purpose from it. Some people swear by it. I feel way better in the gym. And if you do, because it can do that.
When I've been very lean, and you'll probably relate to this more because it's a distant memory for me. When I've been very lean, I found that you could genuinely tell the difference in your performance based on what you'd had those last 2 meals and what you had in the gym. But you have to be very lean and very depleted for you to be that sensitive.
Yes, when it was my peak for the show, the first carbs I had on the load were from Carb Max, and they were in my intra, and I had 100 grams of it. And I felt like I was going to fucking explode.
It's worth noting that both Carb Maxes now, 50% of the carbs from both of them come from platinos. That's something that I did because I like the consistency, I like the taste, I like the way it sits in the stomach. And then a study came out this summer that showed that combination of a cyclic dextrin and something like a platinose to have massive athletic benefits. Do you prefer Carb Max with a C or Carb Max with a K?
K.
Same.
Yeah.
But it's more expensive. So.
But we're loaded, so it doesn't matter. Please put that in.
Of course it's fucking going in.
I don't have it in my diet at the moment because I'm still hungry and I'd rather have the carbs from food.
Yeah.
However, I know it's going to get to a point very soon where food is high and I'm like, right, 50 gram of carbs are going to mean trip because I can't. I'd rather have that performance benefit. Like,
then slog down that much more.
Yes, I'd rather have an acute performance benefit and an ease of getting food in than getting food in.
So, person, situational, specific. The idea that having a carb drink will make you train harder and for longer is based in scientific fact when studied in people like super endurance runners. Because what a lot of companies will do, and it does my fucking head in, is they'll put up a graph showing that swilling your mouth with carbohydrate powder will improve your endurance by 20%. It absolutely will if you're doing the Tour de France. But you're not. You're at the gym doing bicep curls. It's not relevant. The study
in the squat rack as well.
Yeah, the study crossover isn't significant. If you're dieting and you can fit carbs in your diet, then it's very useful. I find a lot of the powerlifters really like it. Some of those guys will pay the strongmen. They'll train for 2-3 hours, so maybe there's more of an argument for it then.
Yeah.
So situationally specific.
Yeah, I think if you train for a very long time as well, I'd put that as a very high priority as well, because I know a lot of people, bodybuilders, friends of mine, that will train for over 2 hours a session.
Yeah.
I think you're missing out if you're not taking that.
Do you mean Arnold? Arnold trained for all day.
Retarded. Whereas me, my session's currently an hour.
Yeah.
I don't need a pre-workout meal an hour and a half before, then carbs intra, then post-workout half an hour after. Yeah.
Are you happy with said?
Fuck you. Yeah.
Cool. I'm surprised that Glycomax is above RNG Max.
There are lots of really good health benefits to it, to Glycomax. I just think there's a lot of bullshit that goes around with them as well.
Cool. Is there anything else you have to add?
I'm glad I got involved on this.
Cialis?
Great.
I like that's like above.
God tier.
Yeah, God tier.
I haven't had it for a week. It's like a gummy worm.
You know when you say you glad you got involved, that had like a hint of sarcasm.
No, I am.
No, you are. Is it so you can brag about how much money you have?
Oh, he hasn't got fuck all. It's his missus. Cat man. So tell you that.
Buy this brand on the 24th.
Oh, yeah, fuck, it's
Okay,
the 8th,
wait.
man. Rick, do you have anything else to add?
No.